Hey everybody, my name's Seth, and today I want to talk about what happens when you have a Taurus personality. Per usual, I have a link somewhere up here to let you guys know what a personality placement is and what my intentions are with this series. Now, with a Taurus personality, Taurus Ascendant, you're going to find someone who is pretty straightforward. Taurus don't really mince words until you kind of put them in a situation where they might have to tell you something that you don't want to hear. That's really when you'll start to find that Taurus are quite mushy and sensitive underneath that very stoic veneer because they really don't like hurting feelings. They really don't like having to make things negative, make things uncomfortable. Like it's the very opposite of what they are about, discomfort. They don't like it, and they don't want to make you uncomfortable, and they definitely don't want you making them uncomfortable. So they like to just be very straightforward, very honest, very open. They're going to lead their lives towards comfort. And also they're going to be very industrious, meaning that they want to be able to make money. They want to be able to make decisions that they know will later accumulate money. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It doesn't mean that they're money grubbers or that they're greedy or anything like that, even though they very well can be if you look at the rest of their chart. The Taurus Ascendant is just the tip of the iceberg on a greedy person. But it's currency, just the idea of wealth and value. That's what they want to accumulate. You might find someone who's an art collector. You might find someone who's like a music enthusiast. You might find someone who has incredible work ethic because they like accumulating what they feel is valuable, and they will like to, their career will start to surround that. Their everyday decisions, what they wear, where they go, who they talk to, will all start to surround what they value and how they get to it. They don't do anything for no reason. That's one thing you'll find with a Taurus ascendant, is that everything is pretty much because they want it to, or because they felt the need to, or they thought it would make them more comfortable, or they thought it would get them something they wanted. They never do something like, well, I don't know why I did it. They know why they do everything. If they don't know why they're going to do something, then they just won't do it. They're not going to waste their energy on doing something stupid or frivolous. It needs to be either fun or worthwhile, value wise. Um, the thing about a Taurus ascendant as well is that they do not have the security like a Taurus sun or a Taurus moon does. They don't have that innate sort of like secure in themselves, secure in how they look, secure in how they feel. Because a Taurus ascendant actually is going to look out and see what everyone else values to try to get some idea of how to value themselves. So when they look into the outside world and everyone's like, wow, be really thin and be blonde and be this and be that, and they look at themselves and they're a little curvier, which they're most likely going to be, and they're not blonde and they're not this and they're not that, it's going to weigh on them, and they're going to start to question their value. It doesn't take long for them to decide, based on their own ethics, what's valuable about them, and then to encourage the world to encourage that what they value in themselves. But it is a trial, it's a test, it's growth that needs to happen for them to learn to value themselves, because it's a lot more sensitive to have this energy sitting right on your ascendant, where everything is so value based, and you're now having to compete with the values of all these different people around you at all times. Now you have someone with a Taurus sun. Someone with a Taurus sun is going to be kind of a little bit more of the typical type of Taurus. You're going to see the slow mover. You're going to see the slow thinker, the slow speaker. And it's not so much that they're slow, like not as smart as someone else. It just means that they need to be in control of their own pace. Now, the idea of them needing control, that's seen here a little bit more than an ascendant or a moon in Taurus, because the sun is this pride factor, this ego factor. So when they don't have control, when you try to rush a Taurus sun, you're gonna get this sort of this kickback, where it's like the more you rush them, the slower they're going to move, because this is who they are. This is how they see themselves. I am proud of this part of me. This is how I self-identify. The person that takes their time and does it right. The person that takes their time and gets what they want. They're going to be focused on monetary things as well, or currency, value-based things as well. But it's more going to be a bit more superficial. Like it's not going to be superficial, but it's a little bit more for superficial reasons. They want to be comfortable and they want to be surrounded by what they value so they can feel good about themselves. And it's not a physical thing. It's just an ego thing. They want to feel good about how they're identifying themselves. Like, my name is Seth, I'm a Taurus sun, and my name means something because I have this and I have that and I have a big bed and I have comfy sheets, and this is why Seth matters. As that sort of thing. Compared to a Taurus ascendant where it's like, well, do you think I matter? And compared to a Taurus moon where it's like, well, I do matter. Now I just want to get more of what matters so I can matter more and more. So let's move on to that, the Taurus moon. They understand that they're valuable. They understand what matters to them most is what matters for their health. They just naturally surround themselves with what they like. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to wonder. They don't have to test their values and try to change all these different things. The only times that they need to test their values is when life is showing them that they're wrong and they don't want to listen or they don't want to admit it. That's when things can go awry. It's not so much that they are questioning themselves, it's that the world is telling them, I think you need to question yourself right now. And they need to start to catch up sometimes because the moon is very fluent, the moon is very moving, waning, all this other stuff. And Taurus is sort of keeping it all level. Sometimes the moon changes because change needs to happen. Sometimes there are rising and sinking of things when it comes to water in the ocean because things need to go away and then other things need to come back. Taurus is a great place for the moon because it keeps everything level. Things don't get erratic. But just like every sign, Taurus can have some issues when it comes to the moon. And that's the fact that sometimes change is not happening enough. They can be very secure in what their values and how they value themselves and what they value in the world. And of course they get what they want and they surround themselves with what they want. And when they don't, they know when something's wrong and they really, really know when something isn't right for them. It's intuitive. But they just need to start thinking about what's right for the world and separate themselves a little bit and start embracing change a little bit and those sorts of Taurus-y lessons that you kind of find everywhere. Anywhere you find Taurus, you kind of get that lesson that things need to change and you need to learn that. But of course, since this is the moon we're talking about, yes, it's a lesson that kind of keeps getting hammered in, like you need to accept change. So hopefully you guys kind of got that, the whole spiel on each sign, and now we can start looking at even your own or someone else's chart and seeing where they have Taurus in their personality placements and what that means. Let's say you are a Taurus ascendant with a water sun and an air moon. This is going to be the type of person that's like they're a little boring. Like they're kind of gonna be that sort of like, you gotta be on their wave, like you gotta be like on like whatever wave that they're on, or else like you're gonna find them to be really, really boring. Because they lead their lives towards what's comfortable. They lead their lives towards what they value. It's kind of, it's not selfish, but it's very, you know, what do I need, and I'm gonna go get what I need, what I want. And I'm going to try to be polite to everyone that I pass, and I'm going to try to ask them to move out of the way instead of shoving them, like that sort of thing. But it is still very me-oriented. And then you have their sun in a water sign, which kind of becomes more me-oriented. It's going to be a little bit more me-oriented. They want to learn how to heal themselves. They want to learn how to fix themselves. And then if someone asks for help and they catch their ear, you happen to catch that person's ear with this personality, then they'll try to help you too, but they will never overextend themselves for you. That Taurus ascendant will not let it happen. They will always think of themselves first. And the healing is more personal, the healing is more internal, and they kind of have a tendency to heal the people around them just because you're kind of there, and you cannot help but be healed by this person. They're very muddy, that initial thing. It's a healing property that they have, but they are not offering it to you. You just kind of be there and you'll get it. Now with this air moon, it makes it again a little bit self-centered because their thoughts are going to be affected by the sun and by the ascendant, and everything else in the chart as well. But you're going to see that again when you're focused on healing yourself, and you're focused on what your needs are, and going to get them with your sun and your moon. I mean, with your sun and your ascendant, then your moon is automatically going to be wondering about you. This is what you're thinking about. This is your subconscious. This is what your mind is on you, because you're leading your life in directions to get what you want. You have to think and make sure that this is really what you want. You have to check in with your feelings, and that includes your sun and your moon. So you're going to rationalize how you feel, and then unrationalize it and try to fix it, and then rationalize it again. And then it's just kind of like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it becomes this sort of thing where this is why they are so into themselves, because it takes a lot of work to heal themselves. It takes a lot of attention. It takes a lot of effort and attention to detail, and just a lot of work to make them a good person, to make them a good, healthy, internally spiritual person. And they are going to be. You're going to find a very, very healthy person here with very healthy habits and very healthy ways of life. But it's just, you got to be able, and they're going to need someone who's able to take care of themselves as well, because they're not here to take care of you. They're not here to be about you. They're here to be about themselves. They're here to fix themselves. They're here to keep themselves happy. And you can be included, but just don't think that it's gonna turn to you. Don't come at it like a Leo, because it's not about you. And that's okay, and that's healthy for them. It's someone else's problem when you got your shit together and they just want you to have their shit together too. So that's that with that placement. Hey everybody, just want to say thank you for watching my video until the end. So if you liked it, share it. Like my page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Check out my blog. I try to put some things up there that you won't necessarily find on YouTube, especially if you would rather read what I have to say than listen to me ramble for hours. I'm really appreciative of your support and watching videos, and especially watching them until the end. And, really supporting my work and supporting what I'm putting out there, because I take this very seriously and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy engaging in this, and I enjoy just doing astrology and finding people who find just as much passion in it as I do. But check out what I have to offer. I definitely do it for you guys. So yeah, thanks again for watching, you guys.